Greetings gourmets, I'm going to show you the best way to cook your Dine Refined Japanese recipe box.
To begin, we'll start with the dessert. The dorayaki pancakes are supplied paired up with the presentation side upwards. We need to fill them. With 2 spoons, fill 2 of them with the chocolate, chestnut and honeycomb filling, and the other 2 with the sweet carrot, miso and ginger filling. Place a mound in the centre, and then when they've all been mounded, place the presentation lid on top and then carefully but firmly pinch all around the dorayaki pancakes to seal the fillings. Once you've sealed them all, take a sharp knife, then cut them straight down the middle in 2 halves, and then place them on your presentation plate. We can now set this plate aside whilst we prepare the rest of the recipe box. Next, take a presentation plate and a small ramekin for your gyoza dumplings. Place a pinch of the spring onions and cover with the dipping sauce, then set aside. We can now prepare the pork for our katsu curry. Firstly, take the seasoned flour and the panko breadcrumbs and place onto plates. The egg wash mix, place either into a bowl or shallow baking tray. You can now take your pork loin steaks and first dip either side into the seasoned flour, then into the egg wash mix, and then finally into the breadcrumbs. Make sure both sides are fully coated. To achieve an extra crispy pork steak, after the breadcrumbs, re-dip into the egg wash mix and then again into the breadcrumbs to get a good coating. If you note, I am using 1 hand for the dry ingredients and 1 hand for the wet ingredients. This will prevent your fingers from being breadcrumbed as opposed to the pork. Once completed, place the pork loin steak onto a tray and then repeat exactly the same with the remaining pork steak. Any remaining breadcrumbs and any patches, sprinkle over the pork and press in firmly. We can now begin the curry sauce. Add the sliced carrots and onions to the pan that have previously been tossed in oil and cook gently for around about 8 minutes. You can now bring a large pan of water to the boil and add all the salt to it. Whilst the pan of water is boiling and the curry is gently sweating, add all of the oil pot to your largest frying pan and place over a medium heat. When the oil is hot, with a pair of tongs, carefully add the pork steaks to the hot oil and cook for 3 minutes on each side till golden and crisp. Then place onto a baking tray and put into your preheated oven. You can now add the curry base mix to the sweated down vegetables and begin to cook the pot stickers. With the smaller oil pot, place into a frying pan and then flat side down, place all your pot stickers into your pan. Then fry gently for around about 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, check the bottoms, make sure they're nice and brown, then add a splash of water and cover your pan with a lid. Let them steam for around about 2 minutes. With the lid still on, remove the pot sticker pan from the heat and set aside. You can now remove the pork from the oven after 5 minutes, cover loosely with foil and also set aside. We can now begin to dress the pot stickers. Take your plate from previously, then remove the lid and very carefully lift the pot stickers from your pan and arrange on your presentation plate. With the boiling water ready for the noodles, we can drop them in, sprinkling the noodles so they do not clump together, and then once they're in the water, maintain at a high heat, stir with a pair of tongs to separate and cook for 1.5 minutes. After 1.5 minutes cooking time, take the pot and drain into a sieve or colander in your sink. Then return the curry broth and bring up to the boil. And then into preheated bowls, take your noodles and divide it between the two. With the noodles now into your warmed bowls, we can gradually ladle over the hot curry broth, equally dividing between the two portions. Then, with a sharp knife, slice your pork steaks diagonally into bite-sized pieces, and again lay these on top of the noodles. Next, we can top our ramen noodles with our tamago, our mirin and soy cured soft boiled egg. Slice this in half and put half on each bowl. Then you can now add as many or as little toppings as you like. We have a selection including sweet corn, edamame soya beans, shredded spring onion, courgette, chili peppers, sliced ginger, pickled daikon radish, and finally sprinkle with sesame, salt, and seaweed seasoning mix. So, you're now ready to eat. So here is your completed meal. Your pot sticker gyoza dumplings with a ponzu soy dressing. Main course, handmade ramen noodles, curry broth, pork katsu, various toppings, and then to finish, your dorayaki pancakes filled with sweet carrot, chocolate, and chestnut. Please enjoy. Arigato and matane.